Please give a 60 Days of Summer welcome to Mr. Tony Allen. There you go, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. I just got...
How y'all doing? That's what's up.
It's amazing, Tony. You know, I know when they're not here to see me. It's very clear. So I just want to jump right into this because yours is a career that you and I are roughly the same age. So I've watched it develop from the very earliest years. I want to go all the way back to Chicago. I want to talk about high school. You know, you're a Crane High guy, late 90s. Can you talk to me about the way that Chicago basketball and that city shaped the Tony Allen that we've all come to really enjoy watching?
That's a great question. As I sit back and think about my high school times, you know, obviously I was in probably a rough stage in my life. I didn't know whether I wanted to hang with the in crowd or, you know, do what's right and play basketball, you know, and, you know, fulfill my dream in hooping. But when I finally got back on track, I have to give a lot of thanks to my good friend Will Bynum. He used to play for the Detroit Pistons. Not sure if you all are familiar with Will Bynum. He brought me back into, you know, the basketball life. And I can't, every time we talk about Crane High School, I can't go without talking about this story. So I'm gonna give y'all this story. I remember one day, it was pretty rough in my neighborhood. You know, I'm from Chicago, a lot of gun violence. And one day it was just so hectic on the block that I went to our city's program where, you know, all the EuroLeague players come and play, the NBA players, Antoine Walker, Michael Finley, Quentin Richardson, Dwayne Wade, all the guys from Chicago. And I had went up there just to see if I could get on the team and play. And I had ran into a good friend of mine named Jason Strait. He played at Wyoming. And he said, yo, what are you doing? I need a guard. And I played. But I hadn't saw Will Bynum since I was like 3rd grade. And I moved all the way to like my sophomore year in high school. Really? And I wasn't playing any ball because I wasn't academically eligible. And I just wasn't into basketball, but I had the skill. So make a long story short, I ended up playing, and he told me, hey, you need to get back in basketball. It just so happened my mother moved to the side, right like 4 blocks down the street from Crane.
Really?
And Will Bynum was already there the year before, and he took the team. They lost in like the Final Four or whatever. And the problem was just me getting eligible. So they put me through a whole lot of stuff to get eligible. I played, but when we talk about Crane, I got to give a big shout out to Will Bynum because he pretty much changed my life from that point on.
And it's incredible too. I love that story. It's incredible too because Chicago, you know, there's a lot of great prep schools, and Farragut's there, but the Chicago city schools, the city school championship, for anyone who hasn't seen Hoop Dreams, right? I mean, that's a great...
Yeah, that's a good example of how basketball was growing up around my time too. But like I said, I wasn't the guy.
Right.
Will Bynum was the guy, and I ain't take it serious until I got out of high school, honestly.
Well, let's talk about when you get out of high school, because everyone remembers Tony Allen, the cowboy, Oklahoma State, right? We remember Eddie Sutton, Tony Allen, we remember that run to the Final Four. But I love your story because of, again, the perseverance that it takes simply to get to Oklahoma State. Junior college is a route that we don't often talk about when we're talking about guys who are NBA all-defensive first-teamers 3 years, 6 NBA all-defensive trophies. So can you talk about your JUCO stops and the way that also helped to like just throw kerosene on Tony Allen's fire?
Yeah, I went to 2 junior colleges. I went to one in Kansas, called Butler Community College. I went 1 year there. I was newcomer of the year, transferred and went to Wabash Valley.
Yeah.
And I think that specific school right there is where I knew, like, I'm about to go pro. They had a guy on the team named Antoine Barber. He played at Kentucky. He had won a national junior college championship the previous year. He had a chance to go pro with a guy named Kedrick Brown. It had been the first 2 junior college players taken out of the draft. Well, no, they'd have been the third. They'd have been second and third because Quintel Woods went first in LeBron James in the draft. Just a little history I'm giving you.
I love that. No, I love that.
So
Celtic fans remember Kedrick Brown.
Yeah, this guy, Antoine Barber, he was highly recruited. And you know, he was getting a lot of notoriety and he hadn't signed yet. So you know how you guys understand right now, it was like filled with coaches. So it's like you got your Duke, your Kentucky, all your A1 schools, D1 schools that's A+. And I still don't know what college I'm gonna go to, but I know I transferred to a school where he already had the notoriety. Get there, and I started noticing a guy in every warm-up, a guy in an orange shirt, like how this guy's shirt is orange, right? You can't help but see it. Oh, I'm not trying to get on you right now, but it was a guy, every time I warm up, he'd just wink his eye like, and I get to looking like, why is he winking at me like that? Like, you know, because the coaches can't talk to you or whatever. Sure. So, make a long story short, Antoine Barber signed. He signed with Kentucky. Now the stands ain't looking this field. You see what I'm saying? Now everybody, but I still see this guy in the orange shirt every game. He just winking at me and trying to get my attention. I'm like, yo, what's wrong with this guy, man? So when the season was over, I had ended up averaging like 16 points a game, first team all conference. We lost again in the Final Four. And when it was time to pick a school, I looked at the schools that I had. I had Creighton, Arizona State, Illinois, Oklahoma State. I think Cincinnati it was back and forth. So I just thought back and I said, the guy in the orange shirt, I'm gonna take that visit. Looked at who the coach was. I'm like, that's Eddie Sutton. And I'm like, yeah, I'm picking this school.
That's how it happened, huh?
Yeah, it's just how it happened.
Because Eddie Sutton had something in his eye, and so you end up playing.
No, I end up. It's a story to that too, because I end up once I went on my first official visit, I got plane tickets to go to 4 other schools. I canceled all them plane tickets. I just asked Coach Sutton. I asked him. I said, you know what, man? I really want to go pro, and I really want to be able to provide for my family. And I know you a Hall of Fame coach. You got over 600-some wins. You're on ESPN every night. I want to know if I can go pro. So that's my only thing I want to know. He told me, he said, if you come in here, work hard, listen to everything I got to tell you, he said, I don't see why, there's no reason why you shouldn't be a pro. I said, you got a pen? And I signed.
Just move in that day.
Yeah.
Now, of course, you know, the Final Four run, y'all make it to that Final Four, that incredible Oklahoma State run. That's the same Final Four that UConn ends up winning.
Yeah, it's a story to that, too.
I would love to hear it, because that team, that Oklahoma State team, I think matched up really, really well with UConn.
Yeah, you know, when you talk about the team that beat us, it was Will Bynum. So you see how time catch back. No, Georgia Tech.
Oh, that's right.
So Georgia Tech, now mind you, Will Bynum went to Arizona right out of high school. I had to go JUCO. So, and he helped me bring me back into the basketball world. So, see, because I hadn't played AAU. I never played AAU basketball. Never played none of that. No organized ball until I really got to the pro-am. You know what I mean? So, unless you count biddy basketball. But I was like 4, 5, 6 years old.
Some hot competition.
Yeah, but for the most part, going to the Final Four was like a dream come true, because you got Will Bynum who brought me back into it, and we in the Final Four, the national stage. And they won the game, and Will Bynum hit the game-winning shot. It's kind of crushing, and till this day, he teased me about it all the time. Yeah.
That's how you know your boys.
Yeah, that's my boy, man. But it was kind of crazy, because I didn't expect him to transfer, you know what I mean, and make it. He was actually supposed to come to Oklahoma State.
Really?
Yeah, he told the whole coach staff, I'll be down there. Oh. I'm transferring. Oh. So we waited the next morning, and my coach, Sip, the guy in the orange shirt I was telling you about, he said, hey, did Will Bynum make the wrong left turn? It says here he's just about to commit to Arizona. And I was so like, oh man, my word don't mean nothing to the coaches now. Like, this is my best friend, I'm telling them.
You're like, I got the scoop, he's coming.
He's
Don't
coming,
worry.
he'll be down, he drive, he got all his clothes in his car, he coming. And they just waiting, they waiting. And man, I look up, see in Arizona.
Yeah.
So you fast forward the whole year, you catch them in the Final Four, he ended up hitting a game-winning shot.
Yeah.
Came off a pick and roll, head fake, John Lucas kept going, laid it in. We lose by 2-1. We lose by 1.
One of the great Final Four games of the last 20 years, by far. And then, of course, take us to draft night, because draft night, that night, the Celtics have 24 and 25, back-to-back picks.
Yeah.
They go Delonte West, Tony Allen.
It's a story to that, too.
I am so excited because that night, I remember both of those picks. And being an A10 guy, I was like, eh. But then I was like, this is exactly what the Celtics needed, an energy guy that can score. Yeah. What was draft night like for you?
Well, draft night was, I was nervous. I was thinking like, yo, what if I don't get picked? So I prayed, I prayed, stayed upstairs in the room while everybody was downstairs in the living room. And I had got a call, like, when it was like, I think Portland was like 22. And my agent had told me, Mike Higgins at the time, he said, yo, you either gonna go from 16 to 20. Well, 16 through 20 passed. I'm like, well, he must be pulling my leg. I went upstairs, then at 21 and 22, I get a call. I ignored it because he missed me on them picks. He called back again on 23. He said, yo, you about to get picked next. I said, huh? So I ran downstairs. I said, Mama, I'm finna get picked. She said, boy, don't play with me. I want to see it. So 24 go, Delonte West. I said, Delonte West? Is he getting picked over me for real?
That's what I said too.
Man, I couldn't believe it. Because the story I want to tell y'all was, we played those guys like 2-3 months before the draft. Like, you see what I'm saying? So Delonte West was averaging like 27 points a game. This is the Elite Eight. He couldn't score over 14 points. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I had a lot to do with that. So I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, do y'all believe in this guy? And I just showed y'all. We good friends today. Me and Delonte are good friends, but I just couldn't believe it. But as far as getting drafted, I was happy. I was excited. All I can remember is just having a lot of my family and friends at the house. And when they called my name, I ran straight outside and jumped on my grandmother's car. I kind of dented the top. But it was time for my grandma to stop driving anyway. Don't look at me no type of way. But she loved me for this. But so yeah, I stepped on the car, jumped there. Everybody on the block came out. They couldn't believe it. It was a dream come true, man. I thank God to this day.
Now here's the good news. I'm not gonna hog all the fun, everybody. I've only got a few questions left for Mr. Tony Allen. And before he's gonna walk over there and sit at that great autograph table, you all are going to get a chance. We're gonna have a chance to have audience members ask a question of Mr. Tony Allen. So now's the time to start thinking about them. After this next question, I'll ask those of you who have a question, raise your hand. You'll be recognized by one of the great Hoop Hall staffers and put in line over here to my right, your left. Now, your stay in Boston, Tony, was remarkable because you were part of that foundation that was built ahead of that 2008 championship run. You were part of the group of guys that was set in place so that when the rest of the team got there in 07 and 08, your foundation would be there. Can you talk about the patience that it took and maybe some of the difficult decisions you had to make to continue to go to work when things weren't necessarily so easy in Boston?
Yeah, well, I'll just give you my whole rundown.
Please.
Well, when I first got there, you know, it's funny, and y'all can laugh at this, but, you know, all the other guys, they wore suits and nice, you know, button-up shirts and stuff. They about to get drafted. Me, on the other hand, I said, I'm going to Boston. So I had, like, 200 throwback jersey, Mitchell and Ness.
Yes.
So I say, yeah, I'm finna kill him with this one. I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get a lot of love with this one. Went all the way through, grabbed a Larry Bird.
All right.
Hey, in the press conference, I got the Larry Bird jersey. Holding my jersey. So I thought that was funny from the jump. My start there, that was my first start there. But just to fast forward, my first year was definitely just trying to learn how to adapt, how to feed myself. You got to get away from it. When you be in college, you eating McDonald's for lunch every time. I had to shift that to getting the chef. It was rough for me. Far as being on time, knowing what NBA on time is, that's 45 minutes early for a rookie. You know what I'm saying? And just understanding all the what they call it, just the rookie duties you got to do. Go get donuts. You got practice at 10, but you really got to wake up at 7:30 so you can beat that line at Dunkin' Donuts or Krispy Kreme. It's just I had to adapt, and I adapted fast. When a lot of the other rookies, like Al Jefferson, Justin Reed, Delonte West, Kendrick Perkins, he was a second-year player at the time too. You considered a young player. Those guys, I wouldn't say they adapted slow, but they just weren't trying to do what the captains and the older guys had wanted them to do. I took the initiative to do it so I could just get my rank in.
Right.
Fast forward, I ended up starting the last 48 games of the season because they had a little conflict, and Ricky Davis and Paul Pierce playing the wing, who's going to score, who's going to sacrifice, come off the bench. Doc chose me. I stayed in the gym before, after. One thing I did was kept my body in shape. And then the second year, which was the tank year, where we lost like 19 in a row. Well, before we lost 19 in a row, we was in a good position to make the playoffs. I had went down, Wally Zerbiak had went down, Paul had an elbow injury. He was going to the paper saying he needed help, things of that nature. And right after that, I tore my ACL or whatever. So it's like, I'm thinking the NBA is over with for me. I'm thinking there's no way I can regroup from this. But I stayed in the gym, got my body back right. Over the summer, like my good friends, Delonte West, Justin Reed, Al Jefferson. Al Jefferson, Delonte West, they all were at my wedding. They good friends. So just imagine going through the growing pains with those guys and then seeing those guys get traded.
Right.
It really woke me up to the business side of things. Like, yo, like none of your teammates, I promised. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I saw that happen, and then I saw Ray Allen get traded, and then Kevin Garnett, and then before you know it, we was champions in 2008.
Can I ask, when did you, for those of us on the outside, it looked like that team was business for 48 minutes. But man, it looked like it was just fun. It looked like y'all knew it was special from minute one, game one. Am I sort of right there?
Yeah, you're right. I thought a lot of that was the groundwork in Italy. We went to Italy for training camp, and each guy had on their mind that, you know what, this core group, we can win some ball games. And everybody took the initiative to just be in better shape, being a better teammate, just being selfless pretty much. And I think it worked. Doc had this word called Ubuntu. It's an African word. I forgot I know the meaning of it is just basically, in order for us to be better, I have to be a better person for us to collectively, gather a task. And we both have to be giving it 110%. And we use that word, and just to let the other brother know that I'm working for you, we working, I'm hanging there, and we kept that word through the whole year, through the championship. And till this day, if I see one of them now, I say Ubuntu.
To you?
Yeah, and they say Ubuntu right back.
That makes all the Celtic fans in here, we just all sighed a little bit. That was awesome to know that word still means something to you.
Yeah.
After the 09-10 season, you had the chance to, for the first time,
shop
around and find, not that the time in Boston wasn't fantastic, But you landed in Memphis, and from the outside, as a hoop head, it couldn't have been a more perfect fit. You, Memphis, your style of play.
Before we go there, I know you. I don't mean to cut you off, but
no, please.
Before we went there, we went back to the finals too.
Yeah.
And we lost to Kobe Bryant, and we'll get to that later.
Okay.
But yeah,
we can do that now, because I'm wondering, does that Game 7 still? Do you still have dreams of that?
It's like, injuries are a part of the game.
Sure.
And if I truly believe if Kendrick Perkins wouldn't have got hurt, the way he was dominating the paint and just defending the post guys on Powell and Andrew, I think we would have won it.
Tony, how different were those two teams? Because personnel-wise, they were pretty similar, but they seemed...
we got younger in positions as far as the wing. I was the primary defender, sticking Kobe. He shot 30% the whole series. And we had P.J. Brown. Remember P.J. Brown?
Love P.J. Brown.
He was playing a lot of minutes, 18, 19 minutes a game, after retirement too. But he came in, and they went young, and went Glenn Davis, Leon Poe, if y'all familiar with that. And we made a run back to the finals, but Perk got hurt, and that's what did it.
But Kobe did shoot 30%.
Yep, and I asked for no help.
Yes.
No help. I don't need no help.
Love that.
He'll tell you that. He'll tell you that. Kobe will tell you that.
Really?
Yeah. Like a lot of guys he play against, he get the, bagging them down.
Yeah.
And they be like, help, help. You see what I'm saying? No, for real, that's, if people who play basketball, y'all know, but you at his advantage right now.
That Kobe move, that's so that guys can yell help, right? That's
I couldn't yell help. He just gonna have to just go 50.
So can you talk about that? Oh, and now here's your chance. If you have a question for Tony Allen, you may raise your hand. We'll select a few of you and put you in line right to my right here, as I only have 2 or 3 more questions for Tony and myself. And then you get to have the fun, and this is fun. Memphis, such a perfect fit. I mean, that roster seemed tailor-made for Tony Allen's defensive stalwart play.
True that.
How did you choose Memphis? Did it have to do with the personnel that was already there? How did that happen?
Well, actually, I'm gonna just keep it all the way a buck. Like, I never knew nothing about Memphis. Only thing I knew about Memphis, it was that whenever we play them, we either gonna win by 30 or we sitting our players down the rest. No, for real.
You're right.
I'm not even telling no joke. Before 2010, and that's what happened. But before I got there, let's talk about that. Chris Wallace, big shout out to Chris Wallace. He had draft. He was part of the reason me being drafted in Boston. So when it was time for free agency and Danny Ainge didn't want to, do the right thing, I chose to just stay in-house. I didn't want to go. I knew I had a relationship with Chris Wallace, so I said, Chris, I'm going to trust you on this one, but you got to give me more money than what they trying to give me. So he said, you know what? I ain't going to give you more money. I'm going to give you an extra year. I said, all right, cool. I said, who on y'all roster? The only person I knew on there was Zach Randolph.
Yep.
And Rudy Gay. And so when I got there, looked at the roster, they made me do a commercial like the first day I got there. Like, I was the only signing. Like, they hadn't won a playoff game in 10 years. So that means every first round they got knocked out. We made one transition. That was me. They signed me. And when I got there, Coach Hollins, I'm not sure if Coach Hollins knew my style of play. So I set like 22 games. And I just signed a deal with these people and set 20-something odd games. Now, me being mentally tough from playing with Doc Rivers, some nights I might play 5 minutes playing behind Paul Pierce. I was already mentally tough for that. So it wasn't no breaking me. I had already tore my ACL, so you couldn't discourage me. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
So when I got there, Coach Hollins, I salute Coach Hollins for this. I'm not mad at him for that. But he set me down 22-something odd games of that first year. I didn't get my crack at the actually playing until we played the Clippers for the second time. We won. He put me in the game. It's like the fourth quarter, I hadn't played 3 quarters. He put me in like 8 minutes. We down like 9. I get 5 straight steals. We win the game by like 4 or something.
You Tony Allen the game.
I Tony Allen the game. But he came in there after not playing me that long. I never pouted, never said, oh, coach not playing me. I never said, I act like it wasn't fazing me, although it was eating me inside.
Yeah, I bet it was.
But it made me work harder, you see what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So coach said, you know what, Tony Allen, I like the way your professionalism is. I love the way that, you attack this game today on the defensive end. He said, we need more players like Tony Allen. So I'm like, oh, I might get some more minutes tomorrow. And then just so happened, we played the Oklahoma City Thunder. When we lost to them again the previous week, Durant went crazy. He had like 45, 50. We go there again. Rudy Gay sit down. Rudy Gay said, I'm not playing this game. My toe hurt. I said, your toe hurt? Your toe hurt? You just did a windmill dunk last night. Your toe wasn't. I said, all right, your toe hurt. So now me, the guy that I am, let me tell you, look, before I study, before I play a player, I study his tendencies. I study all his attributes. It's a method behind this. So I see what he do in transition. I see how he catch and shoot. I see how he come off the dribble. And I just had a video guy just pull up his last 9-10 games, and I just watch a 10-minute clip. I couldn't do that for Durant this day because he, at the blue, just said he wasn't playing today. I said, okay. So I put my headphones back on. I got to get back in the zone because I was prepared to play James Harden. This was James Harden and Kevin Durant was going to say. So we play, make a long story short, we win. And y'all can YouTube this too if y'all think it's fabricated. But the first, I was so upset at Rudy for not playing and just like not being strong and
not
just
wanting
play.
it as bad as you did, yeah.
I ended up having 27 points, 8 rebounds, like 5 steals. Mind you, I hadn't played in 22-some odd games. And this totally lets you know how in shape I was. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Durant had like 35, but they lost. You see what I'm saying?
I do.
And when they gave me my interview, the first thing I said was, it's just all heart, grit, and grind. So that's how that phrase blossomed in Memphis.
Yeah.
And I was still upset. That really was a jab at Rudy Gay.
Yeah.
But he my man today. I can forgive him for that. But yeah, that's where it started at in Memphis.
All heart, no toe.
Now that would have been another one. We could have made some more money off that T-shirt, but
the merchandising.
But no, Memphis, man. Me choosing those guys had a lot to do with Chris Wallace, and like you say, the personnel was there. Rudy Gay was. I looked at him as an athletic Paul Pierce. He could shoot the 3, dunk, do all that. Zach Randolph. I looked at him as a Kevin Garnett, but a highly offensive, beast down low. And then you had Marc Gasol. They was calling him like the next Vitas Sabonis or something like that. Vlade Divac or something. He's blossomed. He's I wouldn't say go that far, Hall of Fame, but he's definitely an all-star. And Mike Conley, I thought he could shoot better than Rondo, and they was just needing a guy who would just stick their nose out and be the glue guy. And I told Chris Wallace, I want to be involved.
Well, Tony Allen, I have one last question for you.
Yeah, come on.
Because I want you to know I'm so thrilled. As a hoop head, as a Tony Allen guy, I can't wait to find out where free agent Tony Allen lands coming up next year. I cannot wait.
Yeah, man, me too, man.
So we were all looking for hints. We're seeing if you're wearing what color socks you're wearing, but no, you're no good.
I'm neutral, man.
No hints. I want to know, Tony, here in Springfield today, where the game was born, sitting here on this court underneath all those eyes above us, what does this mean to you today?
Man, one day I want to be up here. Like you say, I'm 3-time first team. I want to make it like Gary Payton and make it 6 times maybe, and put my name on the wall. Because through the grace of God, I was able to accomplish a lot of things, and this would be one of them. Obviously, I've won on each level, got awards on each level. But this will put the icing on the cake if I can land up in here.
I hope this isn't the last time we see you here for sure.
No. Next time you be giving me what y'all give away, rings? What y'all give away to all
Get you one of those coats, right?
I get one of them coats,
orange coats.
I have one of them orange coats on, man. Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to, man.
We'll do this again in 10 years.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, now let's get to the hard questions. Looks like we got a 5-pack, a 6-pack of fastballs coming. So come on in. I only have 2 requests. You allow me to hold the microphone and you introduce yourself to Mr. Allen before you ask your question.
Hi.
How you doing, man?
Who's your favorite player right now?
It's a good question. You want to know who my favorite player right now? I would have to say Russell Westbrook. I simply say Russell. I'll give a round of applause. Shout out to Russell Westbrook. Okay. But what I can say is, I'm gonna tell you why I like him. His effort on each play. Like, it's very rare that you see a guy play 110% each possession. And I'm one of those guys. But I know he's a lot younger and he's doing it at a high level right now, and I enjoy watching it.
Thanks, buddy. Great question. Great question. Yeah, round of applause. That was a great question. All right. How you doing, buddy? Just introduce yourself and go ahead and ask the question to Mr. Allen.
Hi, I'm Aaron. I was just wondering, how did you feel when you heard Ray Allen and Kevin Garnett was getting traded?
Oh, man, when I heard they was getting traded, I just knew that my minutes would be cut. I wasn't going to be on the floor that much. So what I had to do, though, honestly, I was coming off an injury. I was trying to, I was going into contract year. That was really a rough time when those guys got traded, because they got traded my 3rd year as I was regrouping, and that's normally the year where you can get extensions and things of that nature. So I was excited, but at the same time, I was like, yo, how am I gonna get on the court? How am I really get on the court? And so I worked my butt off all the time, hard, stayed after practice, and I learned a lot from those guys, as far as their work ethic, how KG prepared for a game. He's mentally prepared. Ray Allen, he gets there 4 hours before, shoot, take a shower, calm down, relax. That's why when you see him in the game, he's never rattled. I don't think I ever saw Ray Allen rattled, because he didn't already calm down, took a shower, relaxed. And KG, he just in his zone. He just always serious. And you probably won't see him crack a smile till after the game. And I kind of take those approaches to the games now.
Thank you.
All right.
I told you these were the hard ones, Tony.
Yeah, they good. They're good. It's the
hard
first
ones.
time I saw the fan participation with good questions.
I might say, what would you say would be the good to be in the NBA?
A good tip?
Yeah.
In getting there?
Yeah.
Ah, man. I'm going to tell you like I'm going to tell my little ones. You got to look at it like this. If this is something you love and this is something that you want to do, this is something that you feel you want to pursue, you got to be doing it on the days that you don't want to do it. You got to be doing it like, you got to really eat. It's probably cliche, you got to eat, sleep, basketball. No, like, when they say that, whenever it's some downtime, you could be doing something to access your game, whether it's ball handling, whether it's running, whether it's keeping your body in shape. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot come with it. Getting your proper rest. You see what I'm saying? Putting the right fluids in your body. You see what I'm saying? It's a lot come with that. It ain't just being talented. You see what I'm saying? Because you saw what happened with Greg Oden, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no shot at him, but just by being talented, it's a lot come with it. You know what I mean? So just whenever you don't want to play, go play. Because if you're not playing, get what somebody else doing. They playing. You know what I'm saying? Or working on their game. All right.
That's a great tip, especially when you don't want to play.
I gotta break it down in layman's terms because I don't want nobody getting misconstrued. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a hard job. It's probably one of the hardest sports to play, simply because you gotta play both ends. A boxer gotta play both ends too, though.
They better.
Yeah. So the second hardest job.
Hi, my name's Anthony. What was the riskiest decision you had to make in your NBA career?
What was the riskiest?
Yes.
I wouldn't call it risky, but nothing too risky. I had to make a decision on, but I can't say this. Just getting drafted and being in the NBA, the monies that come with it, the life, autographs, and just keeping yourself in the right circle and finding out who for you and who got your best interest is the biggest thing you need to focus on, so won't no bad risk have to happen. You won't have to take no risk. You see what I'm saying? Because you got a good circle, a good foundation, everybody leading you in the right direction, and sharing ideas, I think you're in a good place. But once you get the wrong crowd on around you, and you might be forced to have to do something that's gonna come with a big consequence.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Anthony. Something that so many of us never have to worry about, right? I mean, you become an industry the moment you sign.
The moment you sign, you getting autographs, all that.
Hi, I'm Amanda.
How you doing, Amanda?
Good. How do you channel your frustration when a referee makes a decision that you don't necessarily agree with?
Look, that's a good question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've been playing the game 13 years, right? I don't think I got over 5 technical fouls. You see what I'm saying? So mental toughness is key. Like, you can't work frustrated, but I could work smiling, and so I try to tune them out as much as possible. You know what I mean? And it's a player's game, and they're not gonna be perfect, and I understand that. So it never really bothered me as a ref. Actually, I tell the referees every time, I say, you know what? That's a good call, whether it's right or wrong. Because one day I'm going to make those same calls. I'm going to be a referee too one day. So somebody go get that pressure right back when I get in the league. So it don't bother me. Just have fun with the referee. I don't understand.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Amanda. When you play with your intensity, you're right, to have that few technical fouls speaks a lot to the respect that you get as a player.
And the ones I got was either hanging on the rim, probably just, I don't know, somebody flopping.
Yeah.
I don't know. But you never caught me like how those baseball players be in the ump's face. No, I ain't got none of that in my game.
Well, we got the closer here. This is the final question for Tony Allen. No pressure.
Let's rock.
My name is Michael Way. I was wondering if I could ask 2 questions, maybe?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. My first question is, what is your point average each game?
Well, this year?
Yeah, this year.
Well, for my career, I averaged 8.9, which is deceiving, because I done had a lot of 20-point games. But I don't know, the average is right out. But this year, I averaged 9 points, 5 rebounds.
That's good.
Yeah, shot over 45%.
That's good. And also, who was the NBA player that you looked up to when you wanted to?
It's a good question. And who the NBA player I looked up to? Always been Paul Pierce. Always. I think, give shout out to Paul Pierce, too. Big shout out. You got that on my snap, man? Are you done? All right, cool. You missed it on my snap, man. God. But look, Paul Pierce, man, when I first got to Boston, I don't know, he just took a liking into me. I don't know if it was because I'm from Chicago, I was rough around the edges, I'm not sure. But I always looked up to him, and he kind of put like a battery to my back. I'm gonna tell you a good story about Paul Pierce, how good his heart is. Now, Paul Pierce don't know me. I'll tell y'all 2 stories. Paul Pierce don't know me from a can of paint. I get drafted. He comes to the Summer League. Y'all familiar with the Summer League, the NBA Summer League? Okay, so now, I don't know Paul Pierce. All right. He come in. I'm tying my shoe. He comes sit down. I look, I say, oh, that's Paul Pierce. I said, okay. Tied him up a little tighter, because it's time to play now. So I come in, I get my first dunk. It was like a soft little tip dunk, like I just put it in real easy. He looked to the sideline, he looked in the game, he say, man, if you get 5 more, I'm gonna give you 2,000. I said, you must ain't YouTube me or something. 5 dunk, that's all you want for that 2,000? Man, I got 4 right in a row. Like no sauce. I got 4 dunks in a row. I say, I got 1 more. Got the last one on the breakaway steal. I say, had that 2,000 ready. He had that 2,000 ready. So right then and there, I knew me and Paul had a good connection. So fast forward during the season. Like it's almost All-Star time. Y'all familiar with All-Star break? Yeah. February. All right, so I'm playing so good. I'm starting now, rather. And I'm playing a nice amount of minutes. I'm having some good games. And I can remember Paul Pierce saying, the reporter asking me, he's saying, well, you know, Tony, you're playing good. You know, this week you're averaging like 13 points a game. You're being solid. You know, you're competing with some of the top prolific scorers. And Paul Pierce sitting right here. Every locker room, he sat right next to me. He say, so what if you get called to the All-Star, the rookie All-Star, how would it? So me, I gotta say the most humble answer. And I guess, well, you know, right now, that's not my concern. Right now, I'm focused on winning ball games. And right, that's what I told him. Paul Pierce busts out, said, man, stop lying. You know you wanna make that team. I said, come on, man, be cool, man. I'm on the run. No, you know what? He said, you know what? If you want to make that team, he took off a watch. He had like a $30,000, I think it was a Jacob. And he said, if you make that team, I'm going to give you this watch. I made that team. See, that's what I said. So he was always a motivating factor for me to be in the league. And then each time that he signed like a lucrative deal, like I look at it and I'll be like, yo, that's gonna be me one day, you know what I mean? And so big shout out to Paul Pierce, man. That's who I look up to.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please give one final 60 Days of Summer round of applause for Mr. Tony Allen.
All right, my bro.
See you in 10 years.